Good morning, and welcome to our morning weather news program. It's a pleasure to be with you in this special broadcast, as the Atlantic Ocean truly begins to wake up in early October and the United States braces for a period of remarkable weather changes. Before diving into the main content, we kindly invite you to subscribe and like this video so you won't miss any of our upcoming updates. As always, we'll end today's report with a short devotional. If you have a prayer request or something on your heart you'd like us to share, please leave it in the comments. Now, let's get started. Atlantic overview. 3 key areas to watch. Over the next 1 to 2 weeks, the Atlantic Basin revolves around 3 main areas that require close monitoring. First, a vigorous tropical wave, now designated Invest 95L, is active over the main development region, MDR, of the Central Atlantic. This disturbance has maintained fairly organized convection, occasionally showing improved structure, and if development continues, the next name on the 2025 Atlantic storm list will be Jerry. Forecast models, however, remain divided. Some indicate that mid-level dry air and vertical wind shear may limit rapid intensification. Others suggest the system could gradually strengthen as it moves northward before curving out to sea. This is a classic late-season tug-of-war. Sea surface temperatures remain warm enough to support tropical growth, but the mid- and upper-level atmosphere already carries the transitional traits of autumn, making it much harder for a system to sustain a purely tropical warm core. Second, and likely the headline story by the end of this week, is a mid-sized low-pressure area expected to form just off the U.S. East Coast. There is a fair chance this could evolve into a hybrid or subtropical system, or even an early-season, nor'easter-type storm, as cool, dry air spilling southward from the northwest collides with warm, moist oceanic air being driven inland by persistent northeasterly winds. Upper-level winds are forecast to curve and bend, allowing the low to linger near the coastline for 36 to 60 hours. Leading to repeated cycles of rain and gusty winds in rhythm with the tides and convergent bands. The most likely impact window is late this weekend into early next week, with Outer Banks, North Carolina, the Tidewater, Virginia Beach, Norfolk region, and the Delmarva Peninsula being the key zones to watch. While it remains uncertain whether this system will become a fully tropical cyclone, its impacts could feel similar. Significant coastal wind gusts, rough surf and prolonged coastal flooding, beach erosion, widespread rainfall, moderate to locally heavy, for longtime residents of fragile barrier islands such as the Outer Banks. Persistent wind-driven tides can be just as disruptive as a named storm. Third, we turn our attention to Central America's moisture pocket, commonly referred to as the Central American Gyre, CAG, by meteorologists. In the coming days, Pacific moisture is expected to spill across the narrow land bridge, feeding into the western Caribbean and the Bay of Campeche, creating a broad and unstable weather zone. Within this pattern, small surface vortices may spin up and decay daily with the terrain and diurnal cycle, resulting in several days of heavy rain over Honduras, Nicaragua, Belize, northern Guatemala, and neighboring coastal regions. For now, the primary concern is not wind but flooding and landslides in mountainous areas. If mid-level shear weakens and the dry Saharan air retreats, the potential for a more organized low-pressure system could increase later in the period. At present, however, the most practical advice is to prepare for prolonged rainfall and localized flooding. Regional impacts across the Atlantic. For communities across the Leeward Islands, Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico, near-term impacts from Invest 95L could include scattered showers and intermittent gusty winds as the outer rainbands sweep through. The flood risk will rise only if multiple rounds of rain persist over mountainous terrain. Bermuda should closely monitor model guidance after the 5 to 7 day mark, as certain scenarios curve the system north-northeastward, bringing stronger winds closer than anticipated. For the Bahamas and Florida's east coast, the persistent land-sea convergence will produce daily thunderstorms, and rough surf could develop even if the storm center remains far away. U.S. mainland, changing weather pattern. Across the lower 48, today's setup shows a broad zone of rainfall stretching from the lower Mississippi Valley through Arkansas and Tennessee, extending north into Kentucky, Indiana, and Ohio, and reaching the Great Lakes. Moisture-laden air and a surface trough are producing locally heavy downpours, which could lead to quick urban flooding in low-lying areas. By tonight, parts of southern Lake Michigan could even hear out-of-season thunder as a band of strong storms moves through. The Northeast remains dry and pleasant today, though conditions may shift later this weekend if the coastal low approaches. Florida still feels like late summer, with widespread afternoon thunderstorms. Georgia and the Carolinas also see scattered showers driven by moist northeast winds. Further west, the Rockies and High Plains experience occasional thunderstorms, cooler nights, and clear signs of fall. Farther west, the Pacific states are enjoying a calmer stretch after recent unsettled weather. Temperature contrasts are striking. Within states like Kansas or Iowa, southern counties remain warm and humid, while northern areas feel refreshingly cool. Along the Atlantic seaboard, northeast winds make it feel a few degrees colder than the thermometer shows. Important note on forecast models. Those colorful model maps showing 60 to 70 miles per hour wind gusts are heavy rainfall zones 5 to 7 days in advance are not official forecasts. They represent single model runs meant to visualize possible scenarios and relative risk zones. Official warnings for strong winds, flash flooding, or coastal surge will be issued later by national and local agencies once confidence in track and timing increases. Until then, early preparation remains your best advantage. Inspect your roof and drainage systems. Clear debris from storm drains. Secure outdoor furniture and small boats. Plan your travel routes in advance if you live in coastal or low-lying areas. Summary. In summary, the Atlantic is clearly entering a more active phase. Invest 95L has a chance to become Tropical Storm Jerry, though a northward turn out to sea remains likely. Off the U.S. East Coast, a coastal low could strengthen this weekend, bringing gusty winds, heavy surf, coastal flooding, and widespread rain to the Outer Banks Tidewater-Delmarva corridor. The Western Caribbean and Central America continue facing multi-day rainfall and flood threats from the Central American Gyre. Over the mainland U.S., rain and thunderstorms persist across the central states and Great Lakes. The Northeast enjoys brief calm before potential weekend changes, and the Southeast remains humid with scattered storms. Devotional, a moment of reflection. As promised, let's take a quiet moment together. Therefore, my beloved brothers and sisters, be steadfast, immovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, knowing that your labor is not in vain. 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 58. When the weather changes and forecasts remain uncertain, what we can hold on to is peace and steadfastness within our hearts. If you're facing challenges, in health, work, or family, please share your prayer requests below. Our community will stand with you in faith and intercession. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, turn on notifications, and stay tuned as the forecast models begin to lock in on that potential coastal storm. Wishing you a peaceful and hope-filled day ahead. God bless you all.